Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the preliminary bouts for Super Pro 1, Elkins versus Knight. Our first match here is going to be a triple threat between La Hija de la Luz. You may recognize her, but she's wearing a mask, so let's pretend we don't. CHRISTINA MUNOZ, a veteran of Super Pro, even though she's actually still kind of a rookie, and KIYOKO, our Korean import. Let's go to the ring now. And it looks like the first out will be young CHRISTINA MUNOZ. She hails from Mexico herself. Now MUNOZ is actually one of the taller competitors, even for the junior middleweight division, which is a little surprising, frankly. You would expect a little bit more size differential among the athletes in that division, but at 6'2", she's probably the tallest woman we have. Knight is pretty close, as we'll see later in the evening. And the great thing about MUNOZ, she is a trained luchadora, so do not expect her to be lumbering around the ring at 2 miles an hour, throwing big boots and dropping elbows. Here we have the Korean export, ROMY. Did I refer to her as the export or the import just before? I do not know. It's all a matter of perspective. KIYOKO here, not terribly concerned with really anybody's opinion but herself, as sometimes you'll find all the answers in the world are in one's reflections. KIYOKO, also a member of the junior middleweight division, the division that will be crowning its inaugural champion later tonight. But you can immediately tell that she is not as large a competitor as MUNOZ. We'll see if that factors into how this unranked triple threat goes down. Lastly, Hija de la Luz. She looks strangely familiar, has a strangely familiar entrance, with a strangely familiar theme song. But let's pretend it's a complete and total stranger, and in no way will this be a running theme for Super Pro Championship Wrestling. And as you can tell by her stature against these ropes, La Hija is very much a member of the welterweight division and will have a perceivable size disadvantage against KIYOKO, never mind against MUNOZ. It would be quite the statement if the smallest of the competitors managed to pull out the win here tonight in our first match of this new era, immediately with a Frankensteiner. And now laying in with, I suppose you could call them, educated feet. Lose. And a neck breaker. That's not something anybody really wants to experience. Now applying pressure there with that head scissors. KIYOKO taking her time, recovering. You know, this is a marathon, not a race. As an unranked match, this match has no time limits. Whoa! Big whiff there by KIYOKO ROMY. And a big vertical suplex by MUNOZ. I've mentioned her not using power moves, but that was certainly one right there. Misses with the insidiria as La Hija de la Luz shares a moment with some of her adoring fans. And now goes in. Whoa! Oh, big backbreaker over her knee there. Not fun. CHRISTINA rolling to the outside. Does not need to take any unnecessary risks. Smart move. Leapfrog by La Hija de Luz. Taking the ankle pick, gets kicked off. Again, you know, something that you're going to run into when you're the smaller competitor. And now it's MUNOZ playing up to the crowd. Oh, God. Big shot to the arm there. That's might factor in later as La Hija de la Luz tries to hit that Salida del Sol. Might not have the arm to secure the position she needs for that, as that is her finishing move. Munoz calling out to KIYOKO. Not sure if she's thinking about jumping or if she's just posing like a 2002 superhero film. Oh, she goes up with a big cross body. Just nicks KIYOKO ROMY, who cannot catch a break as she immediately eats a couple of kicks by La Hija de la Luz. And we need a shortened version of that. Such a long name. Irish whip now back into the ring. KIYOKO's in. Munoz follows. Boom! And now an inverted Frankensteiner for all of that it's worth. Again, good lucha things from the homegrown talent. La Luz coming in. Oh, big hip splash against the ropes. Apologies, we may be having some streaming issues as this is our first show to go out worldwide, and if you're wondering why it's an English language broadcast, well, how many people do you know who speak English, and how many people do you know who speak Spanish? Munoz going for the pin, immediately broken up by KIYOKO. She comes in now, oh, again with the kicks, the repeated switch kicks. Not a lot of power behind those when you're just switching base. And you can see her load up with that big roundhouse to finish it off, and that's really the punctuation that you want. Oh, big jawbreaker there from KIYOKO, and a big clothesline. Munoz again rolling out. She seems to be spending a lot of this match sort of on the defensive, recovering. Oh, drop kick to the knee. Not something you would usually see going lower than your smaller opponent. And that's something that you would see going lower than your larger opponent. As La Hija de la Luz sweeps the leg. Johnny sweeps the leg. Goes for what might have been a flatliner there. KIYOKO fights it off. And another dropkick to the knee. Cross chop by Munoz to KIYOKO. This is moving 1,000 miles an hour. Probably not the smartest decision to have me do my first bout at commentary with a triple threat match. But I guess we will have to live with it. KIYOKO now just waiting for her opponents to sort of recover. You know, she knows that as damaged as they are, it's not enough for a pinfall yet, and she's not going to overexert herself. But, oh, big combination by Munoz. Again, with the educated feet, hit clips La Hija de la Luz with the spinning wheel kick to the head. It's not a roundhouse kick, it's a wheel kick. Goes for the pin on KIYOKO. 1, 2, and a kick out. KIYOKO pretty vain, but seems to take getting hit in the face pretty well. Not something you exactly expect from somebody who's stereotypically the pretty one. Comes around, Munoz drags her to the center of the ring. It's like she might be going for a submission here. Oh, pulling back with that crossface with an arm trapped. La Hija de la Luz in to break it up. Oh, trouble in Paradiso. As Christina Munoz possibly knocked out La Hija over here. We might be dealing with about 110 pounds of dead weight. Goes for the pin. The ref takes the long way around, because of course he does. 1, 2, and a kick out. Astonishing the amount of resiliency. What are we feeding these kids? Oh, now just kicking her while she's down. Undoubtedly frustrated that Munoz has not been broadcasted before, but she's been with Super Pro in the former version of the company with more traditional championship divisions. Now KIYOKO taking control, bringing her in, putting her to the ropes. Hopefully we don't see a dive here, but nope, putting her down. And just a, why go a mile when you can go 100 feet and possibly choke somebody half to death? I don't know if that's actually an idiom, but it's one that I've chosen to use in this moment. Arm trap, DDD. And now La Hija de la Luz jumping right on KIYOKO, not giving her any time to enjoy the success of that power move. Now La Hija goes for the pin. 1, 2, could this be it? No, Munoz resilient to the end. That's something that you're going to see with the larger competitors. They got a tougher chin, but there is that Salida del Sol. Notice she used the opposite arm to secure the head. Then, and another kick out. I was saying that she resorted to using the opposite arm than that I had pointed out earlier, perhaps because of the damage done, even by one strike by MUNOZ. MUNOZ now coming back up, fighting out of it. And a big, oh, that's a roundhouse kick to the side of the head. That's like an execution. That's illegal in like 14 countries. Luckily, we're in Mexico, and they're a little bit less stringent about that kind of thing. Oh, went for that trouble in Paradiso again. KIYOKO stopping it in mid-rotation. As you should, by the way. Anybody who just watches somebody do that kind of thing, it's not usually a good idea. 1-2, and a kick out by Christina MUNOZ. Oh, big double drop kick. Thought there might be a brief alliance there for a minute, but La Hija de la Luz going right after KIYOKO with a neck breaker there. Got another pin. 1, 2. Strong kick out. And MUNOZ with big Hurricane Rana. I legitimately, I'm commentating for a lucha promotion. Could not tell you the difference between Hurricane Rana and a Frankensteiner for the life of me. Although it looks like MUNOZ here is charging out for another trouble in Paradiso. Hopefully this one will be enough to... Oh, she misses. And a big drop kick to the knee. Good luck throwing kicks with that thing. Another pin. 1, 2, and a kick out by MUNOZ. MUNOZ, a lot of resiliency. It's one of those benefits. KIYOKO now going for another hammerlock DDT. That's going to hurt in the morning if you can feel anything after that, really. Goes for the pin. You got to think that's going to be it. Hija de la Luz taking a lot of damage. And no, another kick out. These women definitely are looking to put on a show here in the first match of the preliminaries for Super Pro 1. Reminder that our main event, Elkins versus... Oh, trouble in Paradiso. Oh, deflected? Blocked? Unsure. But that was some crazy shit. Not gonna lie. And I just missed it. KIYOKO went for another pin. Hija de la Luz kicking out. I feel like I'm a broken record here with all of these near falls. It's astounding. And you can see the toll this match has taken as KIYOKO takes a knee. Go for the power slam. Reversed. Again, not sure if you want to do the power moves on substantially larger opponents. But alright. Goes for the leg sweep again. Goes for the well one too many times. KIYOKO, Russian leg sweep. Do we have any Russians in Super Pro? We should get some Russians. Russians are great. Oh, goes for the pin. MUNOZ back in to break it up. Just eats an elbow for her troubles. Just back. And another hammerlock DDT as MUNOZ. More damage. Everybody's down. What an exhausting match. We can see KIYOKO seems to be the closest to stirring. She's getting up now. Hopefully she can capitalize on this situation. And no, now we have La Hija de la Luz crawling to the ropes. See what she can do. She's in the corner. Backed herself up. Oh, playing weak when you're strong. Goes for that pin. Gets both legs in the cover. 1, 2, and 3. Salida del Sol by Hija de la Luz onto KIYOKO ROMY to secure the victory. And here we have some replays. Obviously going for that leg early on. We have those great kickboxing style combinations. A little bit of Dutch for you. ROMY hitting with the, looks like the hammerlock DDT. I think she must have hit that a half dozen times in this match. And the big roundhouse kick, execution style, to Hija de la Luz. Big backbreaker. But in the end, it is La Hija de la Luz. Do not mention if she has a shorter or easier to commentate name, because here she is. And she is the victor of the first ever Super Pro preliminary match of this era. Will you call it the Kyle Stevens era? Will you call it the Pistolero era? Will you call it the thank God Juarez is no longer in charge era? Who knows? But we are quickly moving on as La Cosa Nostra takes on Samuel Hunt and Adam Blackwell. Fans might know La Cosa Nostra as Jose Fernandez and Remel Diaz, the former and final Super Pro Tag Team Champions. They will each be granted a title shot in their respective divisions, which I believe they've weighed in at light heavyweight and middleweight. They're taking on Adam Blackwell and Samuel Hunt in this preliminary match. You know, you're still going to get these unranked matches to showcase a lot of bodies at the same time, to showcase a lot of different styles of wrestling. And maybe, you know, if somebody wants to take a chair to somebody's head, we might throw in some hardcore matches. Now we have La Cosa Nostra coming out. A strong unit, a united unit always. You can tell there that Remel is a bit taller, a bit bigger, hence the light heavyweight moniker. I believe it's light heavyweight and middleweight. I shall actually, I'm getting word now. And I can confirm that it is middleweight for El Jefe, Jose Fernandez, and light heavyweight for the Prince, Remel Diaz. Old man strength. He's Adam Blackwell. He's been around the world. He's even in WWE in the late 80s and into the early 90s. You probably don't remember him because he wasn't dressed up as like a garbage man or something. But he's been making his way around the world, recently competing in Wildfire Pro Wrestling, as we have several competitors who went over to Japan at some point recently. Blackwell is just one of them. You know, he's been around. He's maybe not quite as strong as he used to be, but he's a hell of a lot smarter, and we'll see if that benefits him coming forth. Although he does have a little bit of youth coming in with his partner, who should be coming out shortly here. Yep, and there he is, Samuel Hunt from Auckland, New Zealand, I believe. I'll have to double check because my notes are terrible on this first episode of Super Pro. But he is the Kiwi that is not quite a buzzsaw. And I don't believe he's related to Mark Hunt, but I'll be sure to ask him the next time I see him. Coming in. No shortage of swagger between any of the men in this competition. Samuel Hunt himself will also be competing in the light heavyweight division, and we'll have to see if him and Remel Diaz get into an entanglement in this match that might have some sort of overall ramifications or something. Blackwell immediately going to the top here as he takes on Jose Fernandez. Gets chopped again. And now, oh, kicks him off. No, chopped down, brought down to, big code breaker. You know that guy's too old to be flexible. You know that was uncomfortable as hell. Fernandez going right immediately into that arm trap crossface. Not a good look for Blackwell here early on. Fighting out of it now, you know, you're not going to catch Blackwell by surprise. That is certainly something that he is going to bring into every match he has here at Super Pro Championship Wrestling. Blackwell himself will be competing in the Cruiserweight division, which I believe the champion is to be named on the next episode. Big on that atomic drop. Jose Fernandez trying to get to his corner and make that tag. Not quite getting it. Kicking off Blackwell now. He could probably make the tag now, but instead opts to put out a little bit more punishment. And taunts the crowd, pays for it as one does. Blackwell bringing him into his corner. No, not into his corner. Puts him on the ropes. Oh, a big back suplex. That is some classics for you. This is like putting on your dad's radio station. That's what it's like watching an Adam Blackwell match. Do not tell him I said that. Jose Fernandez flips him over. Big knee to the head. That's just... That shortens careers. And Blackwell, you know, he doesn't have that many left. It can't be a good thing. Going for the deadlift on the larger man. That guy is 2 weight classes above Fernandez. And Fernandez just deadlift Germaned him like it was nothing. Oh! And where you show me strength, I show you agility. As Blackwell hits that crucifix. Pulls him up, he's taking control. Throws him out of the ring. Looking to play a little bit of old school. It's much more of a 2002 type vibe. And his kick to the gut, not having it. Knows he's in a dangerous position, trying to fight out of it. Exchanging chops. Dodging punches. Doesn't dodge the second one. Third one just misses. Again, exchanging chops. Oh, and another atomic chop. What do we have against Huevos around here? What do we have against Huevos? Blackwell now. Oh, bouncing his head off the ring apron. That is the hardest part of the ring. Did I do it? Did I do the meme? Did I do the meme? I'm told I shouldn't be that ironic. Big chokeslam. No! No! Turned it into a flatliner. That is innovation at its finest right there. Take your opponent's strength and turn it into a weakness. And now he goes into that leg trap. Crossface. Is that an STF? I think that's an STF. Gets it. Blackwell now fighting out of it, prying the grip as one does. Irish whipped in the corner now, making the tag. Diaz is in. Diaz going up high. A brain buster. And a big frog splash. They lie. They cheat. They steal. La Cosa Nostra. That's got to be it. That's the victory right there. Samuel Hunt doesn't even get tagged in. I imagine he will be chomping at the bit to get booked again after this. You know, a whole training camp for nothing, really. You don't even get an opportunity. Although, you know, maybe he could have broken up Pin if he wanted to get in the match. You know, that might have helped him a little bit. But, you know, Blackwell and Hunt, not great friends. Not enemies, but not great friends. And you see that costing them as they go against the cohesive unit that is La Cosa Nostra. And you gotta wonder, these guys both putting on impressive showings and each getting guaranteed title shots in their respective divisions. Will La Cosa Nostra dominate the lighter side of Super Pro Championship Wrestling? Now, obviously no shortage of celebration, no shortage of confidence. Are we sure these guys are only 1 weight class apart? God damn. But what a way to start off your new career in Super Pro Championship Wrestling. Alright, welcome to the main card for Super Pro 1, Elkins versus Knight. But right now we have our first ever ranked bout. This is middleweight division, which is sub 200 pounds. We have Alejandro versus Buzz Braddock. New York versus Boston, a tale as old as time. You can tell Buzz, 5'9", packing in a lot of muscle on that frame, coming in at the weight limit of 200 pounds. Meanwhile, Alejandro, 6'1", 160, or 6 foot, 160. I'm not buying it. I think our weight scales might be a little fidgety, just a little. See, Alejandro and La Cosa Nostra apparently sharing the same Spotify playlist.
From New York, weighing in at 160 pounds, Alexander.
Now, neither of these men, obviously, are in the inaugural middleweight championship match, as that will be competed between former Super Pro Tag Team Champion Jose Fernandez and former Super Pro World Champion Hiro Ramirez. But you got to think whoever comes out of this is pretty much has to be the de facto #1 contender for whoever wins that belt. So, really, what more could you ask for from your first match at Super Pro 1 than something with such title implications? Alejandro, a revolutionary, very big, fighting for the little guy, putting down the big guy. Ironically, will be the larger man in this match. I don't care that it says he's 160. That dude is not 160. He's not. That's a lie. Now, Buzzsaw Braddock coming out. I say Buzzsaw, but he is usually known as Buzz. You might recognize him. He was in that god-awful WWE film. You remember the one with like the bug van and the creepy promoter guy that like sort of stalks him and ruins his. It was really cheesy, and there was that whole bit with Bray Wyatt that didn't make any sense. They didn't even offer him a contract after that film came out, and now Braddock is here with Super Pro. Braddock also a veteran of NWA, super athletic, super intuitive. He's a great natural athlete, connects with the fans, and obviously a patriot, repping the red, white, and blue on his trunks there. And you can see that just immense adoration that he receives there from even Super Pro fans who shouldn't really know him. As shitty as that WWE film was, apparently it helped with his popularity. Now, Buzz, a last-minute signing of Super Pro, wasn't originally slated, which might be why he's coming in right at the limit of the middleweight division. Probably had to cut a couple pounds to get there. We'll see if that factors into the match as far as conditioning concerned. As always, all non-title ranked matches will have a 15-minute time limit. Can't imagine where we got that idea for. Oh! Right away with, I suppose you would call that a Michinoku driver. But now going for the contact. Solid double leg takedown by Braddock there with a round kick to the chest. Now targeting the arm. A jawbreaker. Alejandro and a big running Hurricane Rana. I'm going to call the ones where they go sideways a little bit. Those ones are Hurricane Ranas. Ankle pick and a dragon twist there. Buzzsaw again targeting that arm. So a lot of limb play. And even if your end goal in a match is not to attack that arm, making your opponent think about that arm might make them not protect their head as much. Or not protect their leg as much. Or not protect the other arm as much. You know, there's always a strategy 10 steps ahead with these sort of matches, especially when they come at high consequence, as they do here in Super Pro, where we actually track who wins and who loses. And it actually matters. Funny that. Oh, that's a big one. What is that? I don't even know what that move's called. Another kick to the back there by Braddock. Well, one of the things we're seeing through most of these bouts is not a lot of letting people lie, letting people recover. Just a lot of... oh, big roll up here by Alejandro. Although it's actually a small package. Oh, back and forth here. 1, 2. No. 1, 2. This could be it. No. All right. Wow. Whew. If you need anything stressful in the first 2 minutes of your match, there you go right there. Coming in now, big monkey flip. That's not... oof. Now that's just a show of dominance right there. And a big kick to the face. More stomps. I saw with the arm drag, old school, 101. Big chop to the chest. Continuing with the theme. Sends him into the ropes. Ah, big drop kick. Putting the bigger man that weighs 40 pounds less down. A buzzsaw up to the top rope. Alejandro's borderline across the ring. I don't know if he can make this. Oh, nicks him. I don't know if I've ever seen that. A drop kick to the knee from the top turnbuckle. That's some crazy shit, ladies and gentlemen. And then, just to make up for it, a drop kick to the head from standing right behind you. Now 3 minutes into this bout, 20% through. And it's been all back and forth so far. Not necessarily evident if anybody's got a complete advantage. Although Braddock definitely running away with it now. Kitted B, it is of the people. It is the people's moonsault. Oof. Perfect form on there. Easy to see why he's as well liked as he is. Coming in now, working the arm again, mixing it up. You know, I'll hit you to the body, I'll hit you to the head, I'll hit you to the arm. Hasn't gone after the leg except for that one crazy spot. Here we go, springboard, shooting star press. Both guys gonna feel that. That's a good way to pop like 8 ribs. Big pin here, 1, 2, and no, a kick out by Alejandro. Alejandro, don't go down too easy. Again, I'm not... by the way, what are his pants? Are they supposed to be chaps? What is that? Taking him here. Elevated DDT right to the floor. You can see buzzsaw. Just dead weight there. Not a good time. I'm amazed his hair is still as perfect as it is, frankly. Big face buster. Or gourd buster. Either way, I don't think either your face or your gourd is unbusted with a move like that. 100 coming in now. Oh, big stomp. Getting the elevation behind that, too. I was waiting for something. Goes for a kick. No, Buzz sees it coming. Counters. Gets up in the fireman's carry position. Goes over. And there's certainly a Michinoku driver for you. 100 now. Playing up to the crowd. Crowd wanting to see a revolution. Will they get it? Oh, super kick right to the head. Buzz might have just put this away, and Boston might have actually beat New York. No! You got to start thinking, you know, he's hit him with just about everything. The people's moonsault, the springboard to the outside, from the outside. Going in small package. Big, turning into a pseudo German suplex. He's got that high croc single leg there. It's not enough for a pin. You've got to think that he should have found a way to cover the shoulders in that situation and maybe would have been able to pull out the win. Big leg trip there from Buzzsaw. So we pin 1, 2. And you see that move, that didn't even come off of a big move, but this match has been so grueling that these guys are borderline winning off of what others might consider quote-unquote transitional moves. Big knee to the head there. I don't know what you transition from that to other than the hospital. Now you have him wearing him down here with the side headlock. You won't see this a lot in too many grappling competitions because of that, because you don't control the majority of the body. It can act against you. Big vertical suplex there. Snap right into the cover. Covering the mouth there so Buzz can't breathe in. And then that little exertion, you know, that's going to drain the tank. Every time you got to explode with that core. It's just going to do damage. Big moonsault. No, not a moonsault. Corkscrew moonsault. That's going to hurt you. What is that? What is that? Okay, seems like we had some sort of lighting issue. Yeah, Alejandro, as exhausted as I am, just from calling this, possibly more exhausted. I don't know. My job's been pretty tough tonight. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, no, another kick out by Buzz. Yeah, say what you will about either of these guys. Neither one wants to go quietly into that good night, but he might not get a choice. It's Alejandro catches on. Moonlight drive. That has to be it. That has to be it. I mean, Buzz has put in a good fight, but he's taken a lot of damage recently. It's 1, it's 2, and that's 3. It's Alejandro is officially the most winning competitor in all of Super Pro. Granted, that also means Buzz is the most losing it. Losing? The biggest loser in Super Pro, so that can't feel too good. And again, you have to think that this immediately puts Alejandro into position for possibly maybe the first shot at whoever wins that middleweight title. It won't be tonight. It's tonight we have the junior middleweight title behind the former Super Pro women's champion, Lex Elkins and Felicia Knight. Be sure to stay tuned for that as we get several replays here. All of these moves just hitting it 100 miles an hour and 100 pounds per square inch. Big. Alejandro barely stand. You know, still celebrating, but just, you can see that it's worn out. Also, how's the mask staying on his face? Does anybody know? Was that like epoxy? What is that? Ah, it is what it is. You still got it signed. I don't think either of those guys is over 30. But here we are, the first quarterfinal in our heavyweight Grand Prix, because ask Strikeforce, ask K1, ask Pride, there's nothing better than a heavyweight Grand Prix. So we have Casey Coleman, the playboy from Venice Beach, California, taking off from Yamashita, the young boy from Oita, Japan, on excursion here from Wildfire. And these are a couple big lads. You know, the weight cut off for the heavyweight division is a minimum of 250 pounds. We have 251 for Yamashita, a deceptive number considering how large he is, and then 265 for Casey Coleman here. Some people call him Cowboy, some people call him Casey Coyote, some people call him Daddy, but we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. Come out here with the towel. He tells me the towel isn't for him, but because he knows the capacity that a lot of his fans get wet watching his matches. And I'd like to think that that's just because there's like that there's a lot of sweat in the ring. That's what I choose to believe that he meant from that statement. I will not hear any other explanations because it just makes me sad. Obviously, Casey is a big dude, like a Hemsworth brother given even more steroids and bred with Jesse Ventura in Predator, like peak Jesse, not crazy Governor Jesse. Oh, that can't be sanitary. That can't be good. Casey keeping the jewelry on for the match. That's A, that's gonna hurt when you punch a dude, and B, that's just kind of classy. Have Yamashita. Obviously, not afraid of showing off where he comes from. Not afraid of acknowledging that he is still up and coming. That he's still doing his due diligence. He's still paying his dues. He's still doing the thing, and I think that's all of the context I can say the word due off the top of my head.
Weighing in at 251 pounds, Yamashita.
Yeah, I think this match, this is a big deal with the heavyweight Grand Prix. We still have 4 heavyweights unannounced for that Grand Prix, by the way. We have this match between Coleman and Yamashita. And then after this, we will have Miguel JOVEN versus TAURUS Fire. And if this is a match of two big guys, that's going to be a match of a big guy and a good god. I can't believe that actually exists on this planet. Big guy. For now, we're going to see a bit of clash of styles. You know, the American rebel versus the disciplinarian Japanese. Getting a hang for those ropes. Lucha ropes notoriously a little bit looser than some others. Whew. Go now. Time limit of 15 minutes, as always, for non-title matches. Going in, Yamashita pushing the bigger man back, putting him in his own corner. You can't think he feels great about that. And the ref, the amount of baby oil that ref must have just got on him getting between those two guys, I cannot even imagine. Big chop by Yamashita there. And a bigger leg breaker by Coleman. Coleman ain't playing none of this escalation shit. Coming in with the big guns early. A chop now, a jab. Oof. Now with a foot choke, the rope hung foot choke. Yeah. Your blood's already rushing to your head, and now you can't breathe. That's a bad combination. And now he's jumping on that opportunity with more choking. Bringing Yamashita up. And a big spine buster. Ah, what a classicist the great Casey Coleman is. Going in with that pin. Oh, that's got to be dirty. Letting him up early on the pin. That's just mean. Is that even allowed? It's got to be. Ah, that's mean. Speaking of mean, handstand leg breaker. Now just waiting to see if Yamashita can even stand. No, he's not waiting. He's going to start kicking the shit out of him. Bringing him up. Again, just put him down. Got him in that power slam position. And a shoulder breaker. Yamashita, a fan of that discus clothesline. We'll see if that comes into play later with that shoulder. Because, you know, when you're dealing with people this big, you know, that's 250 pounds coming down on your shoulder into another 265 pounds coming from the opposite direction. Now Casey Coleman goes from letting him up early from a count to trying to get a dirty count. And it's got to be the most inconsistent, but also the most consistently douchey move I've ever seen in a wrestling ring. Again, attacking that arm. Oh, and speaking of the discus clothesline, apparently no issue at all throwing that now. And a gunship deadlift, like he's lifting him like paper, into a sit-out powerbomb. And this is where you see the experience differentiation. Really should have gone for that pin. Now he's going for a comeback here. And a big clothesline. Just hard-hitting, old school stuff here. And just a meeting of meat center of the ring. Neither guy wants to budge, but that'll budge you right there. Double underhook backbreaker. Gets, what is that, 1 count? 1.5 count? Kick to the back because fuck your spinal column, I guess. Whipping face first into there. Coleman ducking, going for the leg trip. He's waiting. We'll see what he has in store. Big fireman's carry cutter. They say one of those will keep a doctor away. Listen to the pin. 1, 2. No! Yamashita, the young boy, the young lion, just working. Not willing to go out quite yet. You just gotta think that that'd be an embarrassment possibly for the entire Wildfire Dojo, for Yamashita to be dismissed so handedly in his first match of his excursion. Eats a big back suplex. Now the neck crank. This is just making him feel the weight, you know, making him deal with that discomfort, making him think about it. You're reminding him of who's in charge. Puts him down. Goes for the pin. I thought he was going for a dirty pin there, but he must have elected against it and possibly pays the price of Yamashita with a strong kick out. Coleman now. Big spine buster. Another one. Mama Coleman must have been hanging out with those Anderson boys. Good God. And again, returning back to that arm. Yamashita apparently impervious to arm damage. Throwing him off one-handed with that backdrop. A big tour of the islands. Going for the pin now. 1, 2, no. Strong kick out by Coleman. We are almost a third of the way through this match. And it is not slowing down. You wouldn't normally expect. Whoop, going for the big power bomb here. Oh, into a back. What do you call it? Power bomb. I don't remember what it's called. But I know it hurts your goddamn back. And Casey Coleman still kicks out. Powerbomb lung blower. Right? That's what it's called? I don't know. There's a million names for those things. It's whipped in the corner again. Talk about old school. Yeah. Coleman has consistently throughout this match been targeting those arms, those shoulders, trying to sap some of the strength away from Yamashita, but Yamashita has still been hitting power moves on a consistent basis. That time electing to use his lower body, hitting in the knee to the head. You almost want to see more of that. You know, you're getting targeted on the upper body. Throw some more kicks, throw some more knees. Maybe even slow it down. And again, maybe he doesn't need it. Maybe he doesn't need it. Just an easy overhead belly to belly. Oh, now a deadlift. Goes in there. Yokosuka cutter. Not gonna feel good. We got a 1, we got a 2, and we got a kick out from Casey Coleman. Perhaps that damage is actually helping Coleman as he's hitting these moves, but they don't seem to be capable of putting him away. Coleman with a leg trip there. Now he's looking for something devious. I can see it. I can see it in the little hippity hop excitement steps that he's making. Knee to the face. And another fireman's carry cutter. Right there. Busts him open in the process. And you can tell he thinks he's 1, 2, and no. And you gotta flexing like it doesn't bother him, which, alright, mildly confusing, but you gotta think if he had covered Yamashita properly in that moment, he might have been on his way home with that first heavyweight win and a ticket to the semi-finals of this Grand Prix. You know, whoever wins this, you know, has an opportunity to become the inaugural heavyweight champion for Super Pro. See, working that hold there now for Yamashita as Coleman powers out. You know, an extra 15 pounds and an extra 3 inches of size gives him a little bit of an advantage there. Big vertical suplex. You know, I said earlier that Adam Blackwell was like turning on your dad's old radio station. This is Casey Coleman's like finding your uncle's old dirty magazines. That's what Casey Coleman's like. Not that I have any traumatizing experience to pull from for that analogy. Oh! And Coleman. We saw Yamashita hit a discus earlier. Now Coleman sends him into orbit with that one, or more accurately into like the 3rd level of the earth. And now this match over halfway over, and Coleman is feeling the effects. You know, he saw him take a moment to recover there early on. Now he's looking for something big. Goes for another fireman's carry cutter. Is 3 enough? It should be. I don't know any human being where that would be a reasonable thing to survive. And Yamashita's put in an honorable fight, but you gotta think that's just gotta be it, right? So 1, 2, and no. Yamashita with the strong kick out. The mean kick out. That is a kick out of a guy who's no longer just fighting for the spirit of competition. You gotta think these guys are starting to piss each other off with just how much of the kitchen sink they're hitting each other over the head with. Yamashita keeps in the gut, goes with the big up. Oh, changing tactics. Looks like he was going for the vertical suplex now, but he's got the choke in. That's a deep rear naked. Coleman not really finding the grips, and he taps out. What a change. Brilliant strategic move by Yamashita, going for the submission when all of the power moves in the world didn't seem to be working. Just techniquing it up. You know, coming at him from a completely different direction and paying him off. Wise beyond his years is this Yamashita kid. I don't know what they put in the food in Oita, but it makes you smarter. Am I pronouncing that right, by the way? Do we have any weebs backstage that can tell me how to pronounce Oita, Japan? Anybody? No? Well, here we are. We're stuck with this. And we get that powerbomb lung blower. Yeah, I know what it means now. Catching up with that pin. Can't believe that wasn't the match. You can say that about almost every move in this match. You're wondering, like, how could that not be the end? Especially here. Just, obliterating a pretty face of Casey Coleman.
Here is your winner,
Yamashita, bloody, bruised, but not beaten here in his first match in the excursion, his first match in Super Pro, and the first match of the Heavyweight Grand Prix. And up next, we have the other quarterfinal of the Heavyweight Grand Prix that we have scheduled here for Super Pro 1, where we have Miguel Joven, based out of Parts Unknown, versus Taurus Fire of San Luis Potosi, right here in Mexico. And you see there, Michael Young on the smaller side for heavyweight, 6 foot, 250, and 253 rather, while Taurus is, did that say 7 foot, 265? 265? Who's measuring these people? Who's weighing these people? Even, I'm just gonna, maybe it was just a weird picture and he's lost some weight. But anyway, out comes Miguel Joven, who may or may not look like a familiar wrestler in a mask. I told you this would come up again later. And I guess if we're doing a hat trick, even the announcer knows the truth. That's kind of the sad part. Miguel, of course, has had success over in and over in CWL. He's currently the tag champion, I believe, with the other misfit Harris, who is not gonna show up calling himself Hector, I promise. Hopefully. I don't know, if he makes us bill him from Parts Unknown, is he the Parts Unknown assassin? It doesn't exist. Without the alliteration, it doesn't quite sound as good. Also, what are these lights? And where does Beard go? I have so many questions. Truly a man of mystery is Miguel Joven. That's not obnoxious at all. Now we have Taurus Fire, very, very clearly 7 feet tall and not 265 pounds. I would ask if a blind man weighed him, but even if you're blind, you should feel the gravitational pull. You know what I mean? Like, good lord, that is an absolute unit. Good God. Shouldn't even be legal to have that guy in the ring. Miguel's a big, strong boy, but I am not sure how well he's going to do in this situation against such a size discrepancy. Probably the biggest size discrepancy we've seen all night, and we've seen guys go up against, and they're in the same weight class. You know, that's the crazy thing about the heavyweights, man. You get all shapes and sizes, ranging from big to whatever this is. I can only assume is a horrible science experiment. That's coming up. Again, 15 minutes for this Grand Prix match. Big, surprisingly technical headlock takeover there by Taurus Fire. Young shifting his weight, rolling him over himself, and you could see he even let. Whoa! Big one-arm backdrop by Miguel Joven. It's possible that Taurus is made out of paper mache. He's just an incredibly light 7 feet tall. Perhaps he is 265, but we see him now hammering away in full mount from Miguel, giving it up, opting for that stomp to the midsection there. Perhaps not wanting to give Miguel the opportunity to sweep, but you see Miguel has taken control anyway. Whips him into the barricade, into the corner rather, misses with the drop kick. Does not falter at all. You gotta love that. You gotta love that ability to just, if plan A doesn't work, go to plan B with zero hesitation. Don't let your opponent breathe. Don't let him plan. Don't let him take control. Like Taurus Fire just did with that suplex there. Again, Miguel fighting out from underneath Taurus. We've seen that happen a couple times now where he's using good timing and good technique to sort of keep Taurus from weighing down on him, to keep him from keeping him down. But Taurus now is rubbing him into the top turnbuckle there. Those things have pads, but underneath that is a very stern steel turnbuckle. Getting him with every part of the ring now, going with that bottom rope there. Into the center of the ring. Oh God, that is atrocious. Here we have. Now we have Taurus here going in. He's got that rear chin lock. Not quite a rear naked choke, as he doesn't have his other hand tucked in properly. But you can tap a guy like this if your squeeze is tight enough. The problem here, though, is Taurus, again, concerned about getting swept, has left his legs on the outside. They're not putting the hooks in, and sort of, so it's not quite as an effective tactic. But as you can see, it's allowed him to maintain better control and not risk being overtaken. Miguel now slow up to his feet. Taurus lets him get up, only to put him back down with a sidewalk slam. And I don't know, man. I'd rather just bump myself on the asphalt than get driven into the ground by that guy. I'll tell you what. You saw him go for a cover there. Miguel kicked out adamantly. We'll see if that energy... Oh, get out of there, ref! Oh, good God. Thank God the referee is quick on his feet, because that could have been just disastrous. You don't want to get too close to what I can only make the analogy of like watching a T-Rex fight Cthulhu or something. Like something like that. That's got to be pretty close to what we're witnessing here. This Taurus has been in pretty deep control for the last minute or two, which doesn't sound like that long, but of course, combat sports, a minute is an eternity. Taurus, you saw him there working the leg a little bit. This might go into the turnbuckle again. Turns him around this time. Perhaps looking to change tactics. What's he looking here for? Oh my God, it's a pounce. It's a running of the bulls. Miguel Joven, reminder, a solid 253 pounds, just sent flying across the ring like he was a handbag. Taurus goes for the pin. The ref a little slow getting there to count. 1, 2. Oh! Whoa! That's amazing. I don't even know how the ref saw him get his shoulders up over the mass that is Taurus Fire, but thank God he did. That's got to be a 2.99 count if I ever seen one. Now Miguel looking for that big move coming out here. Whoa! German suplex. Might as well call it an Austrian suplex. The amount of strength that takes in. A Painmaker. Coming in now with the cover. Not even. It looks like he got a rope break there. That's going to be a problem throughout this match, as Taurus is so tall that you basically have to like mathematically place him in the exact center of the ring to avoid a rope break. It would not surprise me if we see this problem run into if we see Miguel run into this problem a couple more times, see him hitting those shoulder checks there. Taurus trying to throw him over the rope, not quite working. He's up top. Turn around. Oh, double axe handle. Did you know that people actually used to use double axe handles as weapons, like without the axe on them? Do you know that was like an actual thing people did? Whoa, lifting DDT. Some might call it a 1916. Big hurt, gets him in, gets him up. Boom. Ripcord knee strike. That's a big head to be hitting that many times, man. Taurus is gonna have a big chin. You gotta. This is an endurance test, and Miguel knows it. Immediately going for another big move here. And Taurus fights out of it, knowing he was in danger, knowing that was a lot of damage to take in a short amount of time. Seeing some back and forth, but nope. Looks like we're going for a vertical suplex here. Is that a stalling brainbuster? My God. I think I'm supposed to say brainbuster, but I just opted not to. Now with an inverted DDT. Perhaps Taurus does weigh 265 because these feats of strength are impossible. Oh, and a punt to that volleyball-sized head of Taurus Fire. Is a volleyball even a proper term? It's more like a beach ball-sized head, but it's made out of concrete. Now he's going for that arm lock there. Now this, you can use this as a hyperextension. You can use this as a shoulder lock. Taurus smartly rolling out. Now he's rolling to the outside, looking to take a minute. Because we have I believe a 15 count on ranked matches. But that will not come into play today as Miguel immediately throws him back inside. Going to the top rope again. Opts out of it. Sees Taurus stirring. Decides to go for something else. Get another one of those big, I'm going to call them Austrian suplexes. And a painmaker. And that's got to be it, right? No, another rope break. Another rope break. That's astounding. Again, we're seeing that. Miguel is repeatedly running into this issue of you don't just have to beat Taurus, you have to beat Taurus in a very specific location. It's not like he's particularly easy. Oh, here we go again. Another ripcord knee strike. You know, you got to think about how much power Miguel's thrown into that where he has to do a full 180 rotation too, just from the follow through. Oh, now he's got him into the camel clutch there. You can see he has Taurus's arm put behind his leg in order to stop the rope break, but it seems to be a moot point as Taurus escapes the old-fashioned way. A couple big shots there. Fighting out of it. Perhaps Taurus was looking for a German of his own. Power slam position, but no. Drops him neck first onto the top rope. That's the turnbuckle, the bottom rope, and the top rope. If he can get the middle rope, I think Taurus gets like the cereal box prize for just being an in-ring Boy Scout. I don't know where I was going with that reference, alright? It's a stressful job. I'm watching a car crash. Again, going for that leg. Putting some pressure on there. You know, he could just snap that bone, you know, if he puts enough force on it. Gotta think Miguel's happy for all those leg days. Oh! Taurus not done yet. And going for that neck crank. We saw that in the previous match. Great for setting dominance. Great for disrupting your opponent's breathing, draining them of energy, putting all your weight on it. And again, driving him into the turnbuckle post. A part of the ring that I had forgotten, but Taurus seemed not to. Perhaps a little bit of frustration here setting in. You know, you hit him with the running of the bulls very early on. Oh, is that? Looks like it's a cut. He's cut. Taurus is cut. It's a bad cut. We might see Michael Young start to make a bit of a comeback here. He's hit him with a lot. A big drop kick to the spinal column there. Can he do it again? Another one. Another delayed brain buster. You can't think that feels good. Trying to bring Taurus back up to his feet. Probably a giant mistake. As Taurus sweeps him. And then again with the one-armed back body drop. Taurus fire. Goes for the big right forearm. Completely whiffs it. Taurus showing a little bit of explosive agility there with that side kick to the gut. You don't see the big man throwing too many of those. Clearly. Oh! That's... Yeah, if you're going to start using your legs, that's one way to do it. And another side kick to the gut. Possibly Taurus has discovered a... if a move that lands, you know, could keep going back to it. He obviously hit that massive lariat. That might be the end of it anyway. 1, 2, and a kick out. And you see, he couldn't just get his shoulders up. He had to kick his entire body to get the weight of Taurus fire off of him. Boom! That's never a good thing. Oh, stomp to the gut. Maybe thinking about a low blow there, but not exactly prohibited or allowed within the Super Pro ranked rules. Holy good God! A power bomb onto the big man by Miguel. That could be it. 1, 2, 3, and just like that, Miguel Joven becomes the second heavyweight to proceed to the semifinals of the Super Pro Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Grand Prix. He may be going up against Yamashita in the semifinals, although the block has not been officially released yet. While this is not a one-night tournament, you have got to think that recovery from these grueling matches is going to be a big factor for both Yamashita and Miguel here.
Here is your winner, Michael.
Perhaps if somebody gets an easy win in the second night of the quarterfinals, they might find themselves with a distinct advantage going into the semifinals. Miguel celebrating with the crowd. You notice that all these venues look kind of the same? Is that weird to anybody else? And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our main event of the evening for the Junior Middleweight Championship of the World, as we have Lex Elkins taking on Felicia Knight. Felicia Knight, 6'1", 150. A big frame for 150 at 6'1". And Elkins, of course, everybody will remember, Elkins was the sitting Super Pro Championship Wrestling Women's Champion before its brief closure and resurrection with this new weight class system. That was her first ticket into this title shot. Now, Elkins has been known for a long time to be very no-nonsense, very straightforward. See very quickly. She always says that she grew up on Stone Cold Steve Austin and Goldberg. And that's very much the style that you get with her in the ring. Just a combination of just smash mouth, closed-fisted, bite down on your mouthpiece, let's see who's tougher, and then just crazy, dynamic, athletic power moves. And an attitude to match. Like, you know that girl that in like middle school that hung out with the older boys and smoked cigarettes? Lex Elkins beat that girl's ass. That's who Lex Elkins is. So much so that we don't really know much about her opponent tonight, Felicia Knight. But what we do know is that when it was announced that Lex Elkins was going to go for the Junior Middleweight Championship as opposed to the Welterweight Championship, there weren't a lot of women stepping up to be her opponent in that first match. A little bit similar to Ronda Rousey's debut in the UFC against Liz Carmouche, where not a lot of opponents wanted that exposure, wanted that pressure. Not to mention how dominant the sitting or presumed champions are. There we have it. A pretty junior middleweight belt. A reminder that the junior middleweight women's division is actually 145 to whatever. Oh, quickly! Lex Elkins comes in with a flurry, a crossbody, and a whole bunch of just lunch boxes. Going straight for Felicia Knight. Felicia Knight apparently not unaccustomed to these kind of brawls. Apparently she beat 4 guys in a bar fight. There seems to be some dispute on exactly what went down, but again, clearly temperamental-wise, she's not incredibly dissimilar to the champion. The champion, though, taking it to her with a big hip toss. And immediately you see what I mean about the combination of gritty, smash-mouth brawling and big power moves. Taking the larger opponent. Elkins could have gone welterweight. Well, we have a double underhook suplex there by Felicia Knight. Looking for the upset. I think she might have been going for a headbutt there, but immediately stopped by another cross body and flurry of ground strikes. Oh, schoolboy powerbomb, or schoolgirl powerbomb, as it might be. From Felicia Knight to Lex. Lex is actually going to be on the smaller side for most junior middleweights. You gotta wonder if perhaps she thought she could outspeed some of the larger women that would be competing. Oh, discus clothesline. Whatever advantage she thought that might have been, or if she was looking for a new challenge, she is getting every bit of her buck tonight for Felicia Knight. Felicia Knight coming in with a second big splash to the corner. And immediately take it back down to the mat with a quick arm drag by Lex Elkins. Oof. Reminder that tonight's championship bout and all Super Pro championship bouts will be 25 minutes, as standard in certain other combat sports. See there, Felicia Knight blocked the vertical suplex and hit one with her own. Now going in, ooh. That was a multifaceted form of pain distribution here as she comes in. She's extending the outer pectoral, overextending the elbow joint, driving the knee into the spinal column. That's a bad place to put your opponent here. Lex doesn't give a shit, going for that first German, now going for his second German. I wouldn't quite call these Austrians. The size difference isn't that big. But now going for a third one. You know, she's from Wyoming. It's definitely not a suplex city, but it sure as hell might be a suplex township. Now going for the pin. This might be it. 1, 2, and no. Strong kick out from Felicia Knight. And Lex visibly frustrated. You got to wonder, maybe she didn't expect this big of a challenge from the wild card that is Felicia Knight. And goes for a pump handle. Ooh. Pump handle front slam. Now lining up for the spear. We've seen this before. Dynamic, powerful, Knight ending. No, she misses. She misses. Perhaps those big shots from Felicia earlier in the fight might have done some discombobulating. Oh, big full Nelson side slam. Looking for another spear. Hopefully she can hit this one. And she does. She hits her. She hits her. That's got to be it. That might be it. I don't know if anybody's kicked out of a Lex Elkins spear. 1, 2, 3, and we have a new champion. The new champion is the old champion as Lex Elkins secures her place at the top of the junior middleweight mountain. And all is right in the world. I don't know if there are any Pabst Blue Ribbons in Mexico City, but Lex Elkins is going to find him, and she's going to drink him, because that's what she does. Truly a night for celebrating. And you see here, looking at the replays, big power moves all around. Go for that German. And Knight, for her credit, she kicked out of a lot. She took a lot of power moves. She brought the fight to Lex. But You know, sometimes people are afraid to take a fight for a reason. Here we have it.
Here is your winner and new
Just like her shirt says, just like the great
middleweight champion,
James Hetfield says, Lex Elkins is here to kill them all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed Super Pro 1 Elkins versus Knight. We will see you next time.